Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope everyone is okay. It is the 21st of June. Summer solstice today, I believe. Longest day of the year. Nights start to draw in. Sounds a bit negative, doesn't it? I have just been looking at that bar there, but I've decided it's just too risky. Even back to the EMA. We've had this channel down here. Now, I did trade another evaluation, and I took that. And I traded 10 contracts on that and got, what did I get? A fraction under $1,600. I like that. Lower high. Expected another leg down here. Took it out around about down here somewhere. So that'll probably get us back to the EMA, I'm guessing. ATR's a bit high at the moment. Hopefully it'll feather out a little bit. But I did look at it. I would have come out for 2 points. It's probably going to get there. But I'm not a fan of picking. I mean, that to me is picking a bottom because it could trigger and come down some more because I know there is some strong liquidity levels. And as we're already down here, you just don't know. But that'll probably make 2 points, I guess. So we got in Speedy. Good morning, mate. How you doing? How you doing, buddy? Indy, how you doing? Rodian, how you doing, bud? I'm not speaking to you, Rodian. You beat us in the cricket. Only just, I might hasten to add, but I know you're not a cricket fan, but so I won't hold you responsible. Okay. So yeah, that took 2 points. I don't know if anybody took that, but we'd had this channel, we'd had a break. But it's just a bit risky that. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I'd expect it to work, but I mean, that's truly picking a bottom. It's guessing that's where it's going to turn, so I tend to leave them alone. So Chris, how you doing, buddy? So there you go. Let's see what sort of day we're going to have. I mean, it started off like a range. I mean, it held here and here. But then you just don't know, do you? Now, there is liquidity levels down here. Right down as far as 10 down here. So it's hard to know what sort of day we're going to have, really. It's a bit of trial and error, I think. Befars, how you doing? Hopefully today going to be great. Yeah, I never had a trade yesterday. Well, I looked at a trade. It was a triple test, and I think Sani has said it's definitely going up. And now, obviously, he's a skilled trader, and I went part on the bar, part on what he said. But I think it was more what he said, and it started to go sideways. And I thought I shouldn't have really taken this. I need to be comfortable myself, so I ended up coming out for a tick. It did go up a bit, but I shouldn't be doing that based on there. It was a little moment of weakness, so I ended up getting a tick out of it. But it just goes to show sometimes we still get those little impulsive things, don't we? But it would have worked anyway. It was a triple test, but it was just a little bit proud of the bottom for me. I like it when they break below and then push up. That type of trade, and it was more sat on there like that, but it turned out okay in the end. So it'd be nice to have a decent day today because it's been tough trading. The conditions have been hard lately. There's not been a lot of setups. I can safely say I had a look through yesterday. Up until when I finished, there was only one setup. It was a higher low. Apart from that, there was nothing I could see really that was worthy of what we're calling a decent trade. So it's been hard lately. I've got to say, when I started this 2 years ago, there was way more trades around. So whether we're going to get back to those conditions or whether this is the norm and that was, something a bit different, but who knows? I was surprised you took it with all this. Yeah, me too. Now I know. Now what it was a triple test, and I looked at it and decided against it. And then I think it was Sani. Now, I know Sani is right a lot of the time, and he's an experienced trader. And I jumped in. I think it was 25% the fact that I liked the trade and 75% that he said that. But in the end, I realised now, it looked to me like it was going up, but I felt better getting out of the trade. There you go. Harji, how you doing? Finally, you're back. So I got out of it anyway. I got out of it for one tick. But, I'm trying to give myself a little bit of time. Been short all night. Yeah, I try to give myself a little bit of time and say that I don't expect from going from revenge trading and blowing accounts to being perfect and making loads of money. There's still going to be some shortfalls. You're still going to struggle a bit from time to time. You can have moments of weakness. Now, I will say, I did trade a bit later and I blew a PA account. Now, the reason I blew it is I'd taken 2 payments out of that PA account and it was down to about, I think it was about 500 now. Now, I knew it was a bit risky, but I took a risky trade trying to sort of get it up a little bit and it stung me. Now, I wasn't too bad with that because I'd taken $4,000 out of that account this month. And part of the reason I wanted some more money to invest, I'm getting fed up of just putting money in. I want to get a little bit out. So I knew the account was risking, but it's fine. I've still got, I've got some more coming. So I've still got 5 PA accounts come tomorrow and the day after. So I don't mind blowing the odd account because I knew it was a bit risky and by taking 2 payments out, but I ended up getting $4,000 this month. So I've got money to put in, so it was worth doing. Okay, so market is open in about 10 seconds. So we've had a little pushback up to the MA. We've made 3 little taps of it. And you've been short all night, Arjit. What are we doing here? We're going to trigger this and push up, or we're going to actually move down some more? Judging by the look of this, market's officially open anyway. Judging by the look at this, there's probably some more downwards. Maybe there is something bigger going on here. Hard to say, isn't it? Trouble is, I don't like to draw those because that's telling me I'm looking for shorts. Now, that may be the case, but at the moment, it's a bit early. It's hard to say. There is some liquidity levels down here. 15. There's 200, and there's some more at 10. Right where yesterday's high was. So maybe we're getting something like this now. Touch that. If we can get another touch here somewhere, then okay. Well, down's the way then. So there we go. Good day. Hey Jay, how you doing? JP, good morning. It will be a better day today. Let's hope so, mate. You know, I don't mind sitting here. It's nice to get a trade, but yeah, I did get a little bit silly just for a second yesterday, but I managed to rectify it and everything went okay. Now, there is some news. Powell's, I think he's just, yeah, he's talking from, well, in about 30 minutes. So let me just adjust that a fraction. If we can get another tap on here. We've touched there, close enough there. Reverse from me. If we can get another touch here, then I'm thinking we're going to get some downward stuff. Harji, I don't know what your thoughts are. Are you thinking down today? It's always nice to get your thoughts. As I mentioned, there's some orders down here waiting to be picked up. And 210 as well. And probably lower, I can't see at the moment. But there is yesterday's lows there. So that might be an area. Hey, David, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, it's been a bit frustrating lately. It's horrible to see these big moves with no setups. As I say, I took that higher low on another evaluation. I speed my evaluations, and to be fair, I've done quite well at them. So I got $1,600 off that trade, trading 10 contracts with a lower high. I had a measured leg down here. I came out just before the bottom, and that worked beautifully. So that gave me $1,600. I picked, as I mentioned, I blew an account last night. It was the one I'd taken down low because I'd had the 2 payments. So this morning I got an 80% off. So I did another evaluation and got it up to $1,600 trading 10 contracts on that one there. So all good, all good. Trouble is, when you get to $2,600 and you take a $2,000 payment, you've got $500 left, which isn't a massive amount. You get 2 trades wrong and you're out the game there. So I took something a bit risky because I thought it may pay off, and it took me out. But as I say, I don't mind. I was happy to take the risk because I knew I'd taken money out of the account and I had money to reinvest. So it's not a major issue. Okay, touch. It does look like a bit of a spike in channel. Let's have a look. Yeah, still orders here. and here. I'd like to think we're going to break these lows. So if we can get another leg up here and something a bit bearish, may look for a short there. I could hear Mac's voice, don't monkey with your trades when you move your stop on that trade. Yeah, I think the reason I got out of it because I felt like it wasn't an honest trade. What I mean is I listened more to Sania than made my own decision. So in a strange way, I didn't think I was worthy of making anything out of luck. I don't want to make money out of luck. So I decided, yes, it looks like it's going up, but I just want to get out the trade. That's the right thing to do. I got in under a risky trade, in my opinion. And sometimes I got out for one tick, covered me expenses and learned my lesson. I'm not going to be perfect. Yeah, I'm trading better now. My patience is better. But it's not a case of 1 minute you're bad, next minute you're a great trader. It goes up slowly and you get better and better. Do you always pay off? Do you always pay the one-off fee? I have done, yes. But I managed to trade over 30 days there. See, so I would have had to pay again anyway. So if you're going to take a trade, if you're going to manage to keep your PA account over 30 days, then you're best off paying the one-off fee anyway. But, I just wanted some money and I knew I was risking it, but I managed to get $4,000 out of that one account just this month. I got one on the 15th and I've got one coming next week, which has been, even though the account's blown, it's been confirmed. So the money was confirmed, the payment was confirmed and the $2,000 had come out of my account before I traded it. So you'll still get that anyway. But I ended up getting some money, so I've got money to reinvest. I've got 3 more PAs going live, 2 tomorrow, 1 the day after. That's going to take a bit of money. See, and I want to get a bit of money out before I put more money back in, if that makes sense. So getting a little bit of congestion here. So I noticed Chris Childers put a post on. I don't know if you know Chris. I think he works for Apex, but he's a trader himself. And he's been trading for about 3 years now, and he's just managed to he's had it confirmed 4 payments of $3,500. So he's got $14,000 going into his bank. So I sent him a message. Love hearing about people doing well. Okay, so we've got a push up sideways with a push up. See what this looks like. I think it's going to be a lower high for me. I don't want to just take that. Just in case this is a bottoming pattern, then it's going to trigger me and send it up. So yeah, Chris Childers, $14,000. It's all right. That it's pretty serious money, that, and that's the best he got. So he's managed to build up. He's got a bit, lost a bit, got a bit, lost a bit, but he's in a good place now. So I like it when people do well. I did look at that. It is bearish. My only concern is we have a leg sideways and another leg, which would take us up to about here, which is why I left it. If it can give us a higher low, we'll see. Okay, that would have made a scalp, but not much else. Hopefully, we can get that ATR down a bit. Okay, so that clearly worked. I'm not a fan of it, to be fair. Just because we've had that leg, a lot of times we'll see that and we'll have almost the identical amount there. And in fact, leg for leg, it's probably not far off, is it? Go there. Oh, look at that. It's actually to the tick, actually. I didn't realise that. But it's not a second entry, it's a first entry. So another reason to think, if you're a bit more aggressive, you may take that. It's confirmed it there, but you just don't know. It may trigger you and come up a bit more. Okay, liquidity. There's still some there. It's going to get sucked up now. So hopefully tomorrow, the 50% off evaluations, resets, finishes at midnight tonight. So hopefully I'll usually get an email early hours of the morning. Excuse me a second. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? What was I saying? Okay. 4415. Why isn't that? Those orders been taken? What's going on here? Hold on a second. For some reason. That's right, for some reason my what's it have frozen. Bookmap. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, 10, we're down here next. We may be getting into a nice trend here, actually. And I'm guessing at some point it's probably going to end up doing something like this. So I'd say we're moving this bottom tier, so just got to be wary that this may turn into a bigger... hey, Sania, how you doing? Okay, this 4413, yeah, this could be a break actually. Both these times at one here and here we've pushed back to this side we haven't here, so we may get a bit of a break here. You say watch 4413 down here. So if we're having a break here, we get a push down to here, and then what's going to go on? Push up, who knows? $44.13. That is about there. So small break. In fact, I'm not convinced it's a break. I can sort of micro adjust this, and it fit just as nice. Let's have a look. Let's assume it is a small break. The bit I'm not comfortable with is we've come right to this side, as we have here and here. We've come across. This time we haven't. We've just dropped down to here. So I've got a feeling with a small break, we're going to make a new low and then possibly push up. Sunny mentioned 44.13. Excuse me, what's that area? So that might be an area where we push up. Who knows? As I mentioned earlier, at some point we might end up having something like that, which tells me if we do get a break, we may come over to this side and start working down. It's a bit pie in the sky, really, but I'd just like to know where, if we do break here, where it's likely to go. If it comes to here and starts working down, then there's probably, you know, maybe a bigger, larger tier. You got your 2 points, did you? Did you take that one, did you? I looked at it. It just concerned me because it's a first entry. And it's gone a bit sideways, so it may just trigger you push up a bit, create a second entry short, and then come down. So it's hard to say, really. Okay, so that measured move's played out. Okay, so Sally mentioned this area. So we've had a small break here. Now this could be an area where it reverses, or it has a larger break. Excuse me, who knows? Around there, yeah. Strong liquidity here still, some at 12 as well. So, could come down. Very strong right down the bottom there as well at 400. So, we may end up having some serious downward. Make a logical range bottom with the midline working. Let's see where this one goes. I could adjust that slightly, but I'd rather just err on the side of caution that that might be a small break and a new low. That's gone anyway. SW Blaze, morning from Chicago. So it's high, try to go once, try twice, possible failure. I don't know, I'm not sure here. That's come out about the same distance, so it could just be something like that. In fact, actually, it doesn't look too bad. I'm just being aware that this could pop up. The reason I've moved that a bit, because even though it's come down, it still seems to be working off this midline between the edge of this trend and the channel. But if this does push and close up here, excuse me, I'm going to readjust this back to where it was. 44.18. Decide you are stop loss position. Oh, you're stop loss in position. 44.18. In fact, let me just bring that back a bit to there. The reason I'm doing that is because it fits nice on the bottom as well. So this does look like we're going to move up now. It almost does look like we've had a break and a new low. I'd say it's probably going to move up in that direction now. Now there is some at 219, which is here. 219.75. We'll look at that straight to it. Okay, so yeah, that a break. I readjusted that back. It looks like a break, new low, and that looks like a bottoming pattern. And which it was, it pushed up, so it went straight up to that liquidity area there. Okay, would you go short there? Who knows? I wouldn't. It's a bit risky for me. That is now 20, so there is some at 20. 19.75 actually, which is around about there. Done I? Yeah, there was just no entry for me. I could have took that lower high, but I didn't like the fact that with the stem. So I take it you were thinking about this area here when you were thinking about 18. Good point. 10 minutes from news. In fact, I'm going to let go of the mouse. Have you observed why every time I am correct? I have noticed you're correct, yeah. I think the trouble is, as much like yesterday, now you mentioned it was going up, and it looked like it was, but there wasn't really a setup for me. There was a triple test, but the triple test wasn't brilliant. It was slightly risky, and I went based on what you said. And it frustrated me that I did that because I still have to follow it. Now, it worked, but I have to take my decisions based on how I see things if I'm going to progress. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a sort of a funny way. But I ended up getting out for one tick profit because I had to sort of not so much stick to the rules, but, well, yeah, stick to the rules. But it was more of a moral thing for me. I've been doing so well and I sort of let myself down to a degree, but I saw the error in my ways and managed to get out. Did you fresh your historical data? I didn't actually. See if this makes a difference. Yeah, but I ended up, I noticed the error in ways and I came out for a tick, which I wanted to come out for a tick because it took my, that would have covered the commissions. So took that fell breakout, 10 ticks. Thanks, Sania. That one there. Yeah, I looked at this because we had a break. I looked at that bar. The trouble is you could adjust that slightly. Only very slightly, and it still fits. So that's the bit I was concerned with. If I took that along, it could trigger and come down. So it's not enough of a break for me to get interested. Are you with me? So I think you have to do what you just, I never recommend taste. Yeah, but it will be good for everyone to learn. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm hoping to learn from your different methods of seeing the market, different ways of seeing the market, which can aid, my trading. Absolutely. It's always good to look at experienced traders. It's all about learning to read the market. Okay, so I think it's safe to say this is a better breaker than this. I could still leave that there actually, and so I would still think with this liquidity under 12 between here and down as far as 9, I'd say the likelihood of us coming down would be stronger, at least to break these lows anyway. At 14.31, it made 2 higher highs and broke first low. 14.31, yeah. Oh, that's a 4. Hands off. Sometimes I forget the news is approaching and I'm still looking for a trade. But I'd say it's likely we're going to come down and make a new low. Okay, keep that in mind, folks. 7 minutes. So if you're trading like us, 2000 tick chart, just for a point or two, just be aware that's coming up in 7 minutes. It may go a little bit sideways, so if you get into a trade, you might get a bit shafted. If that would have broken higher, I would have taken that if we weren't coming up with the news. So if that had broken 1 tick higher, I would have taken that short, and that would have given me the 2 points. I'd have only come out 2 points just down to these lows. Okay, that's taken now. Between 10.75, which is about there, and there's a lump of liquidity around there. So based on what I can see, I think it's probably likely we're going to come down some more. And as I mentioned earlier, this may open up into a bigger channel. It's not far off fitting that. So yeah, retested first higher high and then first lower low. So there's the higher high there, yeah? Is that what you mean? It's funny actually, if you're looking at bookmap on that right side where you've got the heat map compressed, so you can see all these levels in a more of a compressed version. You notice just before the news that just seems to disappear. Ay, ay, ay. Ten and 9. Based on what I can see, I'd say we're probably going to continue down. We've got a leg, we may have another leg. Obviously with that news, you just can't really get involved there because you might get your arse handed to you on a plate. That would clear up all these levels. Okay, one level taken. How bloody long is that? Leg and a leg. That's at 9, so that's probably going to smash through there, I'd say. Or maybe not. Let me have a look. Yeah, there's 400 orders there. I'll be surprised if that doesn't get picked up. Okay, that's... Mark all I made before. Next scale. I'm not sure what you mean, son. Now, mark all high made before 1431. Are you on about 1431 time on your X scale? I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. Like 14. I'm not. You might need to be a bit clearer there, bud. I'm not sure what you mean there. Okay, news. 15 seconds. Scale on the bottom of your screen. You're about here. You're about the time. Is that what you mean? 1431 here. And mark all high made before. So you're on about this, are you? Okay, so you're on about marking all highs pre-market, basically. Well, a minute after the market opened, yeah? Is that what you mean? Which is basically there, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's what you mean. I think that's what you mean. Excuse my ignorance. Okay, still, it looks like things are going lower. Let's have a look. Down here, strong. There's a lump around 4406, 4407, which is around about here. So I expect that measured move to get hit, which would make sense. Tested the 4413. So, Arjit Sani, you guys thinking we're likely to continue down? Is that what your thoughts are? Let me just put that there. Okay, that would make sense. Let me look at that. Okay. Now, to me, that is looking like we touch. That is looking like a nice downtrend. So, touch from here. I did mention that at some point, if we work our way back here, it may turn into a bigger, and it does. We've touched there, fitting nice, actually. Pretty nice what little at the back we've got. So we've had those two legs, so let's get rid of that. Tested 4413 from below. So we did that there, didn't we? So okay, liquidity levels of interest. Definitely here. That's one. And 04, which is about here. So trouble is there's no setup for us personally there or there really. You may have took that one. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. You possibly could have called that a triple test. I don't know. Okay, that's very strong there anyway. There's I think it's 520 orders down there. So I'm assuming in a downtrend that's where your profits would be taken, which would make sense towards the bottom of this channel. Some people will be taking profits here, but we need to get up a little bit more really for us. Nothing goes up forever, you're not wrong. I mean, to be honest with you, the S&P 500 has been rocketing up really, isn't it, over the last few months. We had that long spell of 12 months where we just went like this, didn't we? I was looking at the daily, we were just literally looping down. Then we had a bit of a break and then a bit of a sideways, and then we've been sort of working up. So at some point, yeah, we have to, we need a down day. I don't think we've had a really strong down day lately, have we? Everything's pretty much been up. Okay, so that was yesterday's low, so that, well, that obviously created something there, didn't it? So, okay, if we can get a bit higher, I might be interested in going short there, but we need to get closer to that EMA. There is a first entry there, one leg, two leg. Liquidity there, which is more or less a new low. There's liquidity there, so let me get an order. Order ready, submitted. Just in case. Get something bearish here. Let's come off that midline. It's clearly retesting this line, isn't it?
Order submitted. Order filled.
I'm just going to put that about there, I think. Just before this. Three points, basically, coming for 3 points. I want to come out just before this liquidity level. I'm guessing it's going to continue down, but I'd rather just get out and make myself a chunk rather than risk too much. But I'm probably going to get a leg and a leg.
Order filled.
Beautiful. Excellent, I like that. First entry, second entry, off that key entry point, beautiful. So it's been a while since we've had a nice trade this early now. It could possibly go a chunk further, but I tend to take between 2 and 4 points. I wanted to get out before the bottoms because it's the safe option to take. It will break fourth point on a trendline resistance. Yeah, I mean, it could come down a chunk more, but sometimes it's just nice to, you know, just to get out with some points. 3 points is nice. If you can do 4 trades with 3 points, trading 2 contracts on 1 account, that's $1,200 a week per account. That's serious money in my opinion. $1,200 a week per account. 10 accounts, $12,000 a week potentially. So the potential's there for plenty. So you don't need a lot really. Sometimes I'll take 2 points, sometimes I'll take 4, but the fact that it's come down there and had a little bit of a pushback, I think I came out at the right, excuse me, I came out at the right place. Yeah, I came out here, it probably went 2 to 3 ticks lower, I'd say. So 3 points was perfect. Okay, clearly working off that line. We had a top touch here, another touch here. That confirmed it. Perfect. First entry, second entry short, right off the entry point. Ideal, that is. So that can go now. So happy days. Thanks, Sam. Good job, JP. Thank you, mate. 9th floor, beautiful, mate. Thank you. Nice, thank you, Mindy. Anybody else take that? I'm assuming there was a few here. I mean, really, from here, that was a new high after here. It's a matching high. You could have said try to go one strike or twice. It was a second entry short and technically a failure as well. But you see what's happening here. So I know a lot of the times Matt goes, make sure you've got enough room to the lows. But in a downtrend, the room to the lows were here, but it passed it. Room to the lows were here, but it passed it. So sometimes it is tempting to think, oh, let's just ride it down here. But then look what's happening. My arse would be twitching there. So coming out for 3 points was perfect. So it is always useful to try and get out before the lows. Well, clearly it worked there, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to come down further. It quite probably is. But, you know, when I traded before, a lot of the times I would have my order down here and I would just try and chase it down with my stop. But I've got to say, it's a very nervous way of trading. Now, that might be something that works for people like the gorilla guy who always goes for a minimum of 6 points. He just lets it ride, keeps his stop where it is, and then if it comes down here and makes a new swing high, then he brings his stop down. Trouble is, I think to do that, you've got to be experienced, and not only experienced trader, but you've got to be good with the psychological side. Now, we're clearly going a bit sideways here, so I'd say that high there would still probably hold. See, there is... I'm not a fan of this, purely and simply because it's building up a little bit of resistance there, so there is a possibility we could have a little break, but I think that area is safe, I think. But I got out just at the right time there. Yeah, perfect. So I mean, it went down about another 2 ticks. A maximum, it went down 1.75. So you could have got an extra 1.5 points out of that, but that's picking the exact bottom. And I think if you're going to pick a bottom, that's probably as close as I'm comfortable in doing. Yeah, so the decision to get out there was right. To get out before these lows, okay, yeah, so if you did hold there and you rode it back, you got shafted. So I don't know, you know, sometimes when these areas, it did this, a little bit of congestion there and came back up and then came down and did the same. So you just don't know when we're going to push out. Now that to me, it's definitely a channel. It's a two-tiered channel working along the bottom section, then we come across and work it along the top section. Clearly, it's pretty clear. But we've had a break here, so liquidity levels up here have almost but disappeared. So the only thing taking it up is aggressive buying. Apart from that, there's nothing. So let's think. I'd say it's obviously some point leg up. This is going to come down. So if we can find a lower high, so I'd say that looks like a really nice 2 legs. Near enough. Okay, clearly finding a bit of resistance here. There is some along there. Yeah, there's not a lot of liquidity up here. I'd say from what I can see, prices, it's not been long before prices continue down. Maybe see, just the way this is put along the back, there may be a bit of a spike on channel there. Let's just take that from the bottom and see if that not a fan of that. I'm hoping because this channel's worked early that when Mac puts his chart on, he's going to have incorporated this. So whether he'll do it at a slight angle, it may be doing that. It may be a spike in channel. Nah. Okay, a little bit of resistance. I think this is going to be the area where we're going to start to come down now. We've had one leg, two leg, a little bit of sideways. Took the same trade. Oh, that one there. Yeah, it's a nice trade. That there's the first entry. It is a second entry off the key entry point. And if you look back at those three touches, there's been 1, 2. That confirmed it, and that one. It's. Do you know? Sometimes I look at these and think, I don't know if we've got a bit of a channel. But every time I see Mac's charts, he just marks them. At the end of the day, it's at the key entry point. It's in the right position. It's clearly a second entry. You know, it might not be a perfect leg up, sideways leg up, but it's a second entry nonetheless, and Mac always takes them. So sometimes I've found lately, over the last few weeks, I'm getting a little bit overcautious, and then when I look at Mac's charts, he just takes them all. And I think you've just got to do it. So, interesting. Okay, so Sally mentioned mark that area. So, okay, so that's just blasted straight through there, isn't it? So let's see what happens when it gets up here. So I'd say this is our first break, judging by how this is all fitting. That would take us up to this area Sally mentioned. Yeah. And I've noticed a few of the traders in the Facebook group take them as well. Probably a bit dark. Okay, there's a lower high there. We've had this little channel break, new high, lower high. I think it's likely we're going to make a new low after this. So now you can all practice such fourth resistant on downtrend trend line, such excellent up move. So So I'm assuming you're thinking we're coming back down to break these lows. I think Sani uses big. What does he use? A 3-point stop, something like that. I'm not sure. Okay, we got a little channel. We've got to break new high, lower high. See what happens here. I do expect it to come down and make these low. Now that channel looks okay. It's touching quite nice along the back. We touch there, touch there, touch there. There's no argument for me there. There's a bigger channel there. We've had a break. We've had one leg, two leg. Not quite two legs, but close enough. Leg, a little bit of sideways, followed by another leg. Then we've had a lower high. And we've sort of almost bounced off this area. We got close enough for, so I'd say we're probably likely going to come down. I just don't like the way it's stalling there a little bit. I prefer it to break above there, but I'm just going to have to sit through this at the moment. Now, there's still some liquidity there. And some 08, which is around about there. What did I do there? And down here. Oh, I like that.
Order filled.
That's a failure. So I'm trying to break new high. Drag one strike with size failure triggered. Oh, near. I'm going to give it one extra tick. I love that trade. It's going to stitch me up, I think. It did trigger. I'll give it an extra tick just in case. Oh, my heart's burning. Oh, I hate that. I'll give it an extra tick just to see if it saves me. Give it one more.
Order filled.
Oh no, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do wrong? We clearly got this trend. We got a break, new high, lower high, failure, beautiful failure. Triggered me, stopped me out. I don't get it. What went wrong there? What did I do? Anybody idea? Any ideas? Oh, I've gone from 300 up to 50 down. Oh, that's frustrating. That's frustrating. I love that trade. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. We got a channel. Clearly, we had a break, new high, lower high, come through the... Oh, I love that. You took the same hit. I thought that was a beauty. I thought that was going to come crashing down. I did. Yeah, I sat my hands that one. It looked like a great trade for me. That's frustrating. Oh, damn it. Yeah. Yeah, see, we don't use the fib in this, do we? Oh, that's frustrating. Damn it, I thought that was a beauty. I mean, I'm going to message Mac, I'm not happy. I mean, we got this channel. It's clearly bouncing off here. There's no argument there. We had a break. We had a small push up. We had a break, new high, lower high, push through the EMA. Failure. I love that one. Damn it. Something about it just didn't feel right. I loved it. I couldn't see a problem with that. Oh, that's frustrating. You get 300 up, now you're 50 down. Arr. But we had no problem with pushing through yesterday's low. We came back up and bounced, pushed up. I don't get it. I thought that was a beauty, to be honest with you. I thought that was lovely. Just can't trust that channel. Well, sometimes I do this, but it touched here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And it's clearly a 2. I'll be surprised if quite a few didn't there, but it might be there. Oh, I don't know. Oh, that's frustrating when you're up $300. Oh, well. Yeah, it probably will. Leg. Sure if there's a bigger channel working there. Wrong side of the EMA. It's not the wrong side. It's perfect side of the EMA, that was. It finished there. Lower the EMA. It was a perfect failure. I'll be surprised if a lot don't get trapped with there. You know about that one there? Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's annoying. Yeah, I see what you mean. They just closed below it. They didn't push, did they? Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's the only thing I can say. The news is out, yeah. Whether it's... I can't see it being to do with the news. I've had a break lower. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. I bet quite a few got triggered there, got stuck there. I'm going to post that on Facebook, see if anyone got us shafted. Oh, I hate that. You type a massive sentence and you realise you've got the caps on. Clearly going a bit sideways now. Damn it. I hate that. It really frustrates the hell out of me. Especially when you think it's a beautiful trade. I wouldn't have taken a stupid trade. I see what you mean. It didn't push down and then pull back up and then push down. Well, not that I... No, it didn't. It just went there. It went up, came back down and then went down. Well, I'm just wondering whether it would have worked, but it's going sideways. I'm just wondering, is it because this the news that's causing it to go a bit sideways? Not sure about that one. See if Mac's give us anything yet. I'm going to blame Mac for this. Yeah, we got a chart from Mac. Right, okay. Now, I did wonder, and that's why Mac's got two charts. He's got that one that we've got, and he's also got this. Now, I drew something like that, but it didn't look. Having said that, regardless of either of these, that is a break. So I'm going to get rid of that for now, because I think it's by the by anyway. Okay. Oh well. Oh, I thought that would have. Oh, I thought that was a beauty. Then I thought I was going to get another few points there, and that'd be set me up for the day. Oh well. No, well, that channel down there, I mean, that would be this would be a break out of either one of those channels anyway. So that's where I expected to go long. I mean, it's just routine, isn't it? Something like this, you see a break, two legs, and then you see that one, and then you see that one. But I get what you're saying. Normally, you would see it push through, come back up, and then reject down, and it didn't do that. I get that, yeah. I mean, it just literally slipped over from there, pushed up a little bit, and then pushed down. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. But even so, you just expect that to work, wouldn't you? Because you'd expect such a lot of traders to short that, wouldn't you? But there you go. It happens. I do wonder now if we are moving up. Maybe stare. Yeah. Do you know what I think it was? I was looking at something else and it happened quick and I noticed it because if you remember, I just literally shorted it. I didn't get an order ready, so I think I was looking at something else. So there you go. Sally had mentioned 44.81 is an intraday target, which would take us right up here. So I do wonder whether we are moving. There's a failure there. Trouble is, congested as shit, isn't it? Let's go. We're going down, are we? I hate it when he says, let's go. Oh, I don't think I can bring myself to just short it. Because your stop loss is going to be up here, isn't it? Tell you what I will do. 78, 70. No. It's all right. $78, $79, $78. See what I'm going to do. 78. $78 and $79.
Order filled.
Tell you what, you say short it. I'm going to trade. I've got 2 evaluations here. See if we can get some. See if it does come down on there. I don't mind risking these evaluations. They're way up anyway. Yeah. If you wonder why I just jumped in, I'm just shorting these evaluations, that's all. I'm not willing to short me money, me PA's account, PA accounts, but I'm just going to short these evaluations. Let's just drop that down there and see if we can't get something out of these.
Stop filled.
Oh, okay. That's fine. It's all right. I just shorted. Harjit mentioned short it, so I just shorted my 2 evaluations, and I got $400 odd out of them. So, I just didn't want to trade me PAs, so I thought I'll. So I'm going to do this again.
Filled. Order filled.
Let's go for 4 contracts on here. Just trading my PAs up. What's the word I'm looking for? Evaluations.
Stop filled.
Beautiful. Okay. One's nearly passed. Yeah, if you think I'm being a bit reckless, I'm just trading these.
Order submitted.
I think we're going to push right the way down. I'm just trading these evaluations. I expect a new low. Let's just get a bid out of them. Let's have a look. I expect to get to these lows anyway, so let's go for a couple of points. Actually, I'm going to put my stop there because I don't want to give away everything. Come on, drop. Come on, down you come.
Order submitted.
Nearly there. Come on.
Stop filled.
Okay, so I'm 120. Still coming
Order
down lower.
submitted.
Come on, smack that, and that's it passed. Beautiful. Go on, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
Stop filled.
Okay, brilliant. So I've just passed one of my evaluations. The other one's $700 off. So if you've just seen what I'm doing, then just ignore it. Leg. It's made a new low anyway. Pretty much knew it was going to do it. I just traded my evaluations. I've just passed one, and another one's about $700 off. So let's get back to reality now. Okay. Excuse me a second. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. Test on the demo, yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that no sound. Yeah, I'm back with it now. I don't know. I must have just tapped it or something. Oh, well, okay. Let me just check I'm doing this right. That's past now. 78. Still 2 more trades on that one. Allocated 24. Yeah, okay. So let's just drag these out of the way. Now, I would say, from what I can see now, is we're probably ranging. Let's have a look. Took that failure. Which one? That one? That one there? Is that what you mean? Yeah, it sort of looks like we're ranging a bit. I think it's fair to say. Higher low. Didn't hit my limit order. Higher low. Right about there. Just not sure what's going on here. You could say, in all fairness, frustrated about that one, but yeah, I get it. It normally it would push through the EMA, then come back and then drop. It didn't. It just literally crossed over from there, still above the EMA. That's a good point, but I don't mind losing trades like that because that makes sense. Next time when I'm looking for a failure, just make sure it hasn't moved across and slightly moved down. It doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means, caution. But after this, you would expect to hit a new low. We did eventually, but there was a bit of sideways. So whether part of that was to do with the news or not, I don't know. I mean, the fact that it did that, you can still see a lot of traders jump on that. And some, in some form, you get a lot of aggressive sellers selling there. That will be enough to bring it down. But obviously, you've got the big boys. They can move markets a lot more rapidly than the likes of us. Right. No, I just put a post on there, Daniel. I didn't like it because of congestion. It's hard to say, isn't it, really? I mean, is it congestion? Well, I suppose there's a little bit, isn't there? But sometimes it'll push down and then move. I mean, look at that one. Push down, moved across, push down, moved across, push down. But yeah, it's hard to say that, isn't it? I hope Mac earmarks that because I think a lot of traders will be trapped there because it looked like a beautiful failure, didn't it? One leg down, bit of sideways, another leg down. But yeah, in fact, Daniel just mentioned that. He said, yeah, failure like that, you want it to go through the EMA and then pull back and then fail below. So, yeah, that makes sense. Brant said Powell just started speaking in Congress about the economy, a bunch of Q&A, so I don't know. Market wasn't really affected, so unlikely at the issue. Yeah, so it's just one of those learning things, isn't it? Now, I class myself as scratching the intermediate levels of trading. I'm past the basic and beginners, and I can see trades and take trades, but things like that. But yeah, it makes, I mean, like JJ Productions said it, and Daniel confirmed that you want it to push below. So like push below and then come back and then drop, and it didn't. You can see with that bar there, But that's fine. I don't mind that. It is a bit frustrating because I was up, but I'm thinking about the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is $300 is a small price to pay for a good lesson like that, and that is a lesson because at first glance it looks like the best trade in the world, doesn't it? You know, this channel down there, we had a break, and eventually we did make a new low, which, you know, it normally would. But yeah, you can see obviously that bar closed there, moved across, worked down. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to work, but I suppose, yeah, see, Daniel said it's a bit congested. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? Because, you know, well, maybe it is a bit. Yeah, it's possible. But yeah, like you said, it's better to push through, down to the bottom, pull up, you know, and then drop back down, which tells me it's pushed up. And then obviously sellers have said, no, this is not for us, or buyers, and then sellers have taken over. But yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind losing trades like that. Initially, I was peed off, but it makes sense. But, you know, this is where you learn, though. So next time you see that, you'll keep an eye out for it. On all these little times where you learn stuff, you know, you fail and you learn, you make mistakes, that's how you get better. You're never going to turn into a great trader overnight. It's going to take quite a few years for you to get what I would say competent enough. But, you know, Mac will still lose a trade from time to time. And it just goes to say, doesn't matter how experienced you are, you've got to take your eye off the ball for a second, maybe not concentrate, and you'll get stung. But it's all part of the journey. And like Nick says, look upon it as a business expense. And that makes perfect sense. You know, if you're a builder and you've got to stick $200 you know, dollars worth of juice in your vehicle or something, or you've got to pay your insurance, it's an expense, isn't it? You don't moan about it, you don't stress about it, but it's got to be done. So leg. Let's have a look now. Possible moves 44.15, which is we're here actually. Some trades just fail. Look how the signal bar formed for the second entry. A lot of people got trapped. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, if you look into that, I think for me the biggest factor was the fact that it didn't push below and then come back up. So that would make sense. So that, I think that was the, you know, that's explained. But, you know, one thing, yeah, but sometimes, you know, I sort of partly agree, but sometimes don't work. But what I'm at the level now where I can understand where things, you know, made it slightly more difficult, if you meant, you know. Like now, the zone, that bulls need to conquer the, if they can get above, soon we'll get below. That's why I shorted it 44.18, yeah. And that worked nice, didn't it? Got me to pass an evaluation. Another one, what else did I do? I just jumped in a bit randomly, but I do that on I don't mind, which is why I switched over to evaluations. I don't mind trading something risky on the evaluations because, so we've got a touch here, clearly a channel working up there. Trouble is, we're ranging at the moment, so it just makes things a little bit more risky. That's a bad mindset. Well, you know, we all sort of think that, and there was probably a time where I thought that. But what I find is if I lose a trade that I thought would have been a good trade, usually what I do, and I did the same, is I post it on Facebook and then you get some feedback. And then obviously, JJ, with your comment there and what Daniel said, a few people mentioned the same thing. So then you would think, okay, yeah. But I think, really, trades, I think you can trade up to 98%, maybe a little bit more high probability trades. I'd certainly say comfortable above 95. No, more than that. 98%. But yeah, I suppose if there's any type of something that happens in the news or something happens in the economy, you know, maybe a bigger investor pulls the plug on something. You just don't know. Sometimes things can be a bit random, but I'm yet to see a trade that no one can tell me why it failed. That you know, for me, there's always an answer. And that's why I like this completed. Yeah, that's why I like this this style, because it is so understandable, if that makes sense. Now again, 15, yeah. So, yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. You trade about 92. Yeah, I think I'm pushing around about 85. I think. I don't know really, to be honest with you. I'd probably be guessing, but yeah, I know probably Daniel. What does he do, a trade a day, something like that, like Marco. But Marco had a loss, didn't he? He had a loss a while ago, so there's a lower high there. Oof. Trouble is, it's tempting to take that, but I'm not gonna. Has he really? Yeah, we've had this channel up here in a break, so if you took that one, it's triggered. It might come down, but I don't know. Nobody said the system is 100%. However, it's possible to. Yeah, I believe you're right. I believe you're right.
Order filled.
I'm just going to go for a couple of points. I like that. Leg down. I think this is leg up, breaking leg up. Let me give that one extra tick. Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah. One of them's passed and the other one's about $700 off. So we've got leg, break, leg. A little bit more risk than I wanted there. That's a 3.5 point risk. Ooh. Leg, break, leg.
Order filled.
Nice. Okay. At least I'm back in the green. I like that. We've hit these levels. We've had a breakout this, and we've gone 1, 2, 3, and each time it's getting lower and lower. Okay, yeah, I like that. At least that's got me back in the green anyway. Yeah, I didn't have the confidence to stay in here, but it's clearly sort of sideways in, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that anyway. Looks like a leg, a break and a leg. Yeah, I noticed. Each high is getting lower and lower, isn't it? And I saw that big bearish bar, and it came down, pushed below the EMA, pushed up, and then closed on its low. So that for me, I think, was it. I came in about 3 ticks lower than I wanted to, really, in all fairness. But there you go. It is what it is. But yeah, I can say that one. Come up here, we come up again. We've struggled here, haven't we? And we've dropped again. We had that nice big bearish bar. But I like that. Clear lower high. It's just a shame I didn't take the 4 points down the bottom. But there you go. Just a quick 2 points. At least I'm back in the green anyway. There's nothing more frustrating than having a nice $300 or 3 point start and then losing it on that. But to be honest with you, as long as I learn something from these losses, I don't mind that. Are you just trading second entries? Sorry for the question. Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, I can clearly see we're struggling to get up. We tried a bunch of times there, didn't we? And then it came down quick. And then we tried again, had a little bit of a break and a new high, followed by a nice bearish bar, and it came down again, pushed below the EMA. So slightly more of a risky trade, but I liked it. I liked the bar, and we got a leg down, another leg down. It makes sense to me. Leg down, leg up, leg down. And it's clearly struggling every time. So there's strong liquidity down here still. There. Very strong liquidity there. There's like 728 orders down here. And there's a load here as well. So for me, this is coming down. This is not a definitive break of the lows, really. We've had a push down. We're going sideways, and it's tipping, isn't it? I saw it with there, which is why I jumped in on that evaluation. Yeah, I started 2 evaluations this morning. I traded a bit of one. One's on $2,666. One's on $3,100. So I've got 350. Another one trade on that evaluation. I'm trading 2 contracts on the PAs, but 4 contracts on the evaluations. I tend to speed them a bit there. And to be fair, the last 6 evaluations in a row that I've traded quicker and for larger, they've passed. I've managed to pass them. I tend to feel a lot more relaxed trading those, and I tend to trade rather than a setup is what I see happening or what I feel. And sometimes I say you can see what's happening, but there's no setup. So I tend to trade them on I can see what's happening, if that makes sense. And they've worked the last 5, 3, 4, 5, the last 5 of them. And I've passed them all within a day or 2. I like to get them done. It's like, what is it, $33, something like that. Yeah, don't worry about it, Brick. It takes time, mate. I've literally almost traded full time for 2 years, nearly. Even when I was working in the day, I'd come back from work at, say, 4:30, and I'd trade up to 9 o'clock at night, UK time. So I've always traded at least 3 hours a day for the last 2 years. And then at the end of the day, it's like anything. If you've got, luckily, I'm lucky with my job. I can, because I was driving for the last few years HGV, so agency work, the money's good. You can earn 20 quid an hour, which is $24, $25 an hour. And you can pick your hours. So I've worked my working life around my trading, because trading for me is something I desperately want to do for the rest of my life. I love the fact that I've got more free time. I control my destiny my working life to a degree. I love the fact that I'm not working my ass off for someone else to line someone else's pocket. I love the fact that, when lockdown came, I was working on a building site. I was a bricklayer at the time. Lockdown came, and I just got a really good job, a well-paid job. I was earning about £230 a day, which is $275, $280. It was a mile from my front door, and it was an ex-military camp, and it was a military camp where my family had joined the military there, and I'd been in and out of that camp from a baby onwards, so it was a great place. I'd been there 3 weeks. I was starting at 7 in the morning, finish at 3 in the afternoon, so I had plenty of time to trade, and then when lockdown hit, sites closed, and that was the end of that. Whereas if you were a trader, it doesn't make a difference whether we're having, a natural disaster. Doesn't matter whether we're having, it doesn't matter what, markets will still move. And that's the kind of thing I love about trading. There's always work if you want it. Absolutely. Now, what I will say is trading is way harder than I ever thought it was. But I've always been the type of person, if I want something, I will do whatever it takes. I'll move hell and high water. I'll put in, still now, because I don't have to get up early in the morning. If I wake up for a pee at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll go downstairs, jump on the computer, and I'll look at Mac's chart for the day. I'll look at Penguin's chart for the day. I'll look at all the guys, and I'll flick through the Facebook group and look at their charts and compare them to mine. So I'll spend an hour up in the middle of the night sometimes. Trading is freedom. Absolutely, I love it. And I love the fact if I go on holiday for a week, I can take my laptop and go for 2 weeks. I can say to my wife, you go down the pool and relax. I'll spend 3 hours this afternoon trading, and we'll stay another week. And I love the fact that you can move anywhere in the world. There's no limits. That's the exciting bit for me. And the good thing about trading the ES in the UK is I don't have to get out of bed in the morning. I don't, officially market doesn't officially start till 2:30 in the afternoon, so it's perfect. Yeah, trading is way harder. Absolutely, yeah. But I suppose in all fairness, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But, you know, anywhere where you can make huge amounts of money, it's never going to be easy. Otherwise, everybody better be a trader. But I love the fact that when I can do it and I earn a nice living from it, that's because I never went to university and I never aimed for, you know, I was a chef when I left school. I went to college for 2 years and became a chef. But, you know, some of my friends went to university to do, you know, doctor or teacher, and they spent 5-6 years working hard, studying, you know what I mean? It's that putting that real effort into it and going through it. You know, you go to university to become a doctor of 7 years. It's a journey of ups and downs, highs and lows, you know. Well, Dubai, if you ask me where I would love to move, it's Dubai. Now, whether it'll ever happen or not, I don't know. I can probably rule out about buying a Bugatti because what are they, $1.5 million or something? You want to move to the UK? Well, you can, Tim. Just learn to trade. But I'd love to go to Dubai. That's like my dream. I have these little dreams, and I have a little picture on my desk of Dubai from the driving range. There's a golf driving range there, and the picture of Dubai, and I look at that every day, and it just, I don't know, it just lifts my spirits. And I think it's good to have dreams. I don't know whether you fancy buying yourself a nice new Porsche. Absolutely, Dubai's tax-free. And as I mentioned before, I know a guy who lives in Dubai who was an English teacher in the UK. He learned to trade and moved over there. Now, if you've got to have big dreams, absolutely. Absolutely. I've always been a dreamer. My mum said to me, I'll either be a millionaire or I'll be broke. So, but I've always had a massive amount of drive and enthusiasm for something that I want. If I have to learn it and it doesn't interest me, I struggle to take it on board. But if it's something I'm passionate about, I will. You know, I've had days where I've necked a quarter of a bottle of whiskey and I've had my head in my hands thinking, what am I doing? And then 3 days later, I'm you know, banging ready for it again. But you can live somewhere else and just be in Dubai residence. Absolutely. I have looked into that. You gotta be out of this country for so much time of the year. But I know a guy though who comes to the UK for the summer, because obviously Dubai summers are bloody hot, and he comes back over here and works. But that's the beauty of trading. You can do whatever you want. You can go wherever. I mean, you don't have to earn a huge amount, but even earning maybe $10,000 a month. You know, and building from there, it's not difficult. If you've got 5 accounts and you take a measly $2,000 out, that's $10,000. You can have quite a nice life for $10,000. But if you can earn that, you can earn more and just scale up. It takes time. You know, I blew account after account after account, and then I managed to get a PA, and then I blew that, and I blew PA after PA, and then I managed to get one that paid, and then I had a couple of 3-month gap, and then I got another one that paid. And then I had a 2-month gap, and then I had just 2 paid in 1 month. So I'm slowly climbing up. I go up 2 runs and come back 1 run on the ladder. But it's building, isn't it? Building, making mistakes and learning. You know, I'm guessing at my rate, I expect to be earning a nice living and have a nice standard of life after, say, 5 years. So another 2 years, another 2.5 years, I'll be happy with that. If it happens sooner, then so be it. But my target by the end of the year is to try and get 5 accounts where I would draw $2,000 out of each. So $10,000 a month, which is not a lot. That's my target for the end of the year. Well, that's my goal. I'm not a massive fan of financial targets, because sometimes you can only really take what the market gives you. And if you're trying to hit a target, you may take a trade that, you know, this to me looks like work it down. But you've got to have your dreams. I mean, Monday, there was no trading on Monday, and I spent time doing a little bit of studying. And I was looking at the Land Rover Velas and just dreaming about pulling outside my house in one, and you know, and if you've got dreams like that, it just helps motivate you. Sorry, Robin, how long have I've been trading this method for a little over 2 years. I started middle of May 2 years ago. But I did do 6 months currency trader with a guy called Andrew Lockwood, where I learned a lot about trading basics. It's for complete beginner. But I like this style because, as you know, I talk a lot and my brain works quite quickly, and it works better at speed. My head does. I'm quite a wired person, as you can tell. So when I was sort of intraday stuff and swing trading, it just bored the arse off me. It didn't stimulate me at all. This, I really love the challenge of sitting here and waiting for the market to trip over in front of me so I can pick up its gains, you know. Yeah, I think it does depend on how much time. I mean, if you put in an hour or two a week, then it's going to take a significant longer. But I trade for around about 3.5 hours every single day without fail. Sometimes, in yesterday's case, a bit longer. But at the end of the day, I mark up my chart. I go through where there were trades I missed and mark those. I go through trades I shouldn't have taken. And I work out how much profit the market would have given me and how much I took. And then I look at other traders on the group and see what they took and compare them to mine. And then I do go through the thing with Mac, because Mac's video usually goes out about midnight UK time. So I always look at Mac's, see what he put. I look at Marco's. If anybody else, you know, Daniel or Joke post theirs, I look at theirs. I look at everybody's really, and I compare them to mine. And it is just forming a picture of what this market's doing and types of entry it gives us, and that's what I do day to day. My whole life revolves around trading. It's the most important, well, I suppose the most important thing. It's at the forefront of my mind above everything else, and it has to be that way because, you know, I'm doing this for my wife and for my daughter. I want them to have more holidays. I want them to have a better life. I want them to have a lot more money at Christmas, and, you know, just nicer things, stuff that I didn't have when I was a kid. And in all fairness, the amount of money I spend on face creams and skin cares for my 14-year-old, I need to earn a bloody fortune anyway. My 14-year-old daughter is obsessed with skincare. Now, we paid £55 last month for skincare. And the month before, we spent £100 in the last 2 months on skincare. She's a bit, I don't know, obsessed. So having 2 women in the house, you need a lot of money in all fairness. More important than my wife. We'll just keep that between me and you, bud, all right? But it is important. And, you know, people who have careers that take a lot of time and effort, it has to be important. You know, if you're studying to be a doctor, you're going to spend all your life with books in front of you and you're studying. And the same for teachers and accountants. It's a lot of study time. And that's exactly what I class my work as, study time. But I believe, you know, I've always cut corners in certain things in my life. I've always had dreams and, you know, but, you know, if there's something I've wanted, I've always had that drive to go out and get it. But I've never found nothing that sort of will give me a decent living, really. You know, you can't earn money like this, you know, being, I don't know, a teacher or whatever. I mean, you've got to be a seriously experienced accountant or lawyer to earn this types of money, which takes years and years and obviously a fantastic education. You know, you need a very basic education to be a trader. I mean, you could almost teach a monkey to do this to a degree, couldn't you? You don't need to be highly educated. Now, I believe where they take traders off of these big banks and financial companies, they take them fresh out of university, but you don't need a university degree to do this. You just need a set of eyes and half a brain, and, you know, the ability and desire to want to do it. Yes, I look at Wade's and TPT. Oh, yeah, Marco and Taylor. Absolutely. everybody knows I'm a fan of Marco's. He's helped me out a lot. He's given me some great tips and advice. He always commented and give me feedback on my charts. I posted my charts every day for the first year, 18 months, and asked for feedback. Any feedback, any criticism that helped me, and I always got some good stuff from Marco. Taylor, I like the fact that Taylor thinks out of the box a little bit. He goes for 4 points in some cases. I'm trying to get away from that 1 point mindset, because in my opinion, you're going to struggle to earn a living at 1 point unless you've got a runner that you make extra money from. But you have to, to trade 1 point, you have to have a high win rate, at least 90% really, to make anything. But, like Matt goes on about 1 point. Now, if you can afford to trade 4 contracts and then one on a runner, then it makes sense. But most of us haven't got the luxury of being able to trade that many accounts in the early stages. So I like it that Taylor goes. Sometimes he'll go, a trade like that, where we got one leg and expected another leg, you'll go for 4 points. If we're working in a range here from top to bottom, taking that down here, maybe you'll only go for 2. But I like the way he adjusts his profit based on what movement he thinks the market will allow him, and I'm kind of thinking along those lines. Runners are the way to go, absolutely. If I can get up to maybe 4 contracts, then I'll use one of them as a runner, because I do like, if you look at that trade there, that trade I took there, so you would have got, even if you waited, let's say you'd have got 5 points out of that, no argument. So that would have given you 5 points guaranteed. That one there, if you took that one there, that would have given you 4.5 points guaranteed. So scalping a point is heartbreaking to me. Now, that one there, I came out at 3 points, which is the right way to come out. Now, if I'd have taken this one, then, if that was one, then I'd have taken 4 points there. 4 points, I think there would have been perfect there, because it clearly did it. So, depending on how much movement you've got, that's how I kind of adjust it, and it works okay. Now, when I started streaming 6 months ago, I just dropped my profit right down here, let the market go, and I just tried to follow it down, and it worked okay to a degree, but it was nerve-wracking, and a lot of times I got out for a point or two. So what I found is I'm ended up taking a point or two anyway, so I might as well just stick to a... I didn't have the confidence to do it, although I think it works okay. But you've got to have the confidence to do it, and you need experience, I think, really, to be able to mess around with profits more than 3 or 4 points, I think. Yeah, see, I think Mac still trades the same way, doesn't he? He does 15 contracts, which he scalps a 0.5, which he swings. Now, Matt can read these markets like a book, and I'll tell you for certain now, he makes his money on his runners. So, making a point, that almost gives him his basic wage, and his runners are his bonuses. So I get that. Short at 14.13 at your own risk. We got a leg and a leg. It is coming down here, isn't it? I'd have to see a good entry, really. What I don't want to do now, after giving some of it back and at least managing to get up. So it's going to have to be a lower high for me, but it does look like there's a 2 legs. A measured leg there. Yeah. Can actually probably come down a fraction. Yeah, perfect measured leg there. Now, for me, it's clearly making lower lows, but it is sideways, so it could maybe push up to these highs. So if we can get a push through the EMA and come back and give us something, then I may be interested in going low. But I'm also aware it's almost coming down in a bit of a wedge, and I don't. As a MAC price action, they tend to don't trade wedges. So I'm aware that price is being held here, but they're also coming down. So I can't think how these wedges tend to react. Do they tend to go out the top and then drop, or do they come out the bottom? I can't think. Okay, so there is a bearish bar there. It's clearly, but I'm going to wait for a lower high, just in case, because it may come down a little bit and then push up. We may end up having a channel. There is a possibility it could get a bit higher. Okay, relatively bearish bar. Let's see if that triggers. It is a measured leg. It's off the key entry point. You know, I think Mac could mark that all day long if it works, because it may come down here and stop you out. It's very easy to say, oh, there's a measured leg there, off the key entry point, let's go short there. And if it works, it's a good trade. If it doesn't, you know, it's one of those things you don't mark it. It's very easy to mark these after the fact. But we are clearly struggling to get up. But what concerns me is if there is a bunch of traders that get into an area like this and we get that quick pop like that. Now, it never triggered, so no harm, no foul. See, another tempting bar, but a little bit of congestion, which is what I'd rather wait for the lower high. Yeah, that's what I'm concerned with. Now, the reason I put that there is because Harjit mentioned the 13 zone, which is here. So I thought if it's going to reverse there, it's probably going to be because of this. There's nothing else. It would be a measured leg, and then obviously this level here. But that's about as bearish of the three of these, and it's triggered, but it's not pushing down strongly, so it may do. But also I'm aware there is a possibility we could have something like that. So I'd rather allow it to push through the EMA to give me an indication that now down's the way. At least I'm managed up now. I've managed to. It was a bit frustrating earlier after that win and that loss, but at least now I'm $150 up minus fees, and I managed to pass an evaluation and get another one within a trade away. So on the grand scheme of things, it's not a bad option. There's a lot of liquidity down here, so for me, this is where it's going. But for me, it's going to have to be a lower high if it gives us the option. Not much in the way of liquidity up here at all. Price, as we know, moves to liquidity. You've got to rely on aggressive buyers and sellers, and in all fairness, the way this is looking, it's not for me an interesting place to buy, especially after a second leg up and prices are making lower lows. So I think there's going to be more sellers in this area than buyers, but because it's congested, it's enough to keep me out of that. Because chances are there's going to be some stops there, big bearish bar like that, and maybe some there as well. After we've broken out of here and bounced a few times, there's probably likely going to be some traders there, maybe thinking about taking profits further down and there. So if we can get above these levels, I think we should get a sharp move, but hopefully 44.15 is done. But yeah, it's a bit congested, that. See how this finishes. See, we're pushing up here. There's a, if you don't count that, there's a failure there, which, nah, it's congested. It's, yeah. Now, if you are short there, I think Harjit has his stop quite a bit higher than this. So with his strategy, obviously, it's a lot safer. Yeah, see, a guy just commented, Steve Webber, all bets are off before and during when Powell speaks. It's definitely a no trade time for me. Yeah, so I don't know how you guys feel about that. See, I have this news on here, like Mac, and usually after we've had some movement, but I don't know. It's how Powell speaks. Does it really affect the markets too much? I don't know. Yeah, so if he did go short there, I can see why it's tempting to this, and I bet there is some shorts there, but unfortunately, that's why I left it, because you just don't know, do you? It's not significant enough for me. Now 44.15 is at breakout level, so I thought it might push up a bit stronger after that. I thought there may be some stops there. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'd say that's likely going to hit here now. There's some stops a tick or two higher. I'd say there's probably going to be some there. I think that was where Harjit said short. So if he shorted that or this, I'd say this area here above here, that where the stops are going to be, I'd say for for a lot of traders, not us, obviously we use ours a one tick above it. So Powell started speaking late, literally the bar before the bad trade. I always wait 10 minutes to see that. Well, that's what I mean. What time was it? Was it 3 o'clock? So yeah, it was about here, wasn't it? And we didn't really have a reaction. And obviously I took that. Everything worked fine. And then we had that nice, nothing special, nothing looked different. But I'd say the reason that didn't work for me is the fact that it moved across from that bar and then slowly dropped. By far, if it pushes down, pushes through the EMA, comes back up, and then drops, that's a good signal. Then we've tried to go higher and we haven't. And that's where I think the failure is. So, yeah, look at this. I think we'll have a pop above here if it does manage to get up. Okay, so I'm going to forget that for now and then just focus on that this is a range. We're not above here yet. I say that's where the stops are going to be for here, here, and here. That's a tick short, is it? So now I told about the 44.15 pending level. And it was at 44.05. Yeah. Okay, big bearish bar there. But no, it doesn't interest me, that. I prefer to not pick these tops. I prefer to get the push down first. Indicating we're maybe coming down to the bottom. Okay, 19, there's some liquidity here. There's some at 22. And there's some at 23 as well. Which is about there. 400's the strongest. Down below here. That's around about the 4, which is just below the bottoms. Okay, so based on what I can see here, that's what's working out our range. They're below and above these areas. So if you're going to short, then up here would be a place. If you're going to buy, then maybe down here. Or if you're going to short there and take your profits, that would be an area where you'd probably take them. Short from 41.18 here. Yeah, I mean, we clearly touched it until I get a setup. Trouble is, if you short here, you're stopped up here somewhere, isn't it? See if we push above here and then get a quick drop. That would indicate there's some sell orders there. 20 for me is the sell area there. If it can hit that and come bearish. Okay, that's hit that liquidity level. Let's see how this bar finishes now. Not bearish enough for me. So next level 22, 23, which is where it is now. I'd say there's a chance we're going to go a bit high if we can get close to this and then drop. Keep an eye on this. Sunny and now any sell I think need to try below 40. You're about short below there. Yeah, I prefer to see this push down below the main, come back up, something that one should have done. And if it does that around about here, then I'll be thinking about going short. But at the moment, we're pushing a bit higher. So 21 to 23, there's areas of liquidity, which are around there. So if we can get into somewhere there and then have a quick push down. So we've touched once, twice, 3 times. Excuse me a second. Okay, that's actually a tick lower. It's an inside bar, that is, but that might be a place where it comes down. Can't take that personally. It is an inside bar. It was a tick lower than that, and it's a couple of ticks higher than that. May go up to 44.29. Okay, there is some orders up here. Let's put that there, just out of interest. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to take a 2-minute bathroom break. Excuse me a second. Wow, what did I miss? Okay, so that one clearly worked. Trouble is, for me, it's in a bit of a range, and I'm just concerned with those areas of liquidity there. It may trigger and stop you out and then come down. So now, hopefully, this has been faded. We may come back down to this side. So if we can trap some longs there, and maybe come down. $22.75 still there. I dare say Mac will probably address that one because someone will ask the question. Okay, second entry long. Risky in my opinion. But there is these levels of liquidity up here. You may take that one, but I'm not a massive fan after this looks to me like it's faded. I'm a bit on the fence here. May go up, may go down. Bye for now, dinner time. Yeah, you take care as well, buddy. Thanks, Sonia. Yeah, they probably will. There's always someone, isn't there? Who was it? Like someone said, why did this not work? It's the first trade I've lost for a month. Yeah, some people just almost demand answers, don't they? Yeah, nothing's ever black and white. There's always usually, in my experience, I've never seen a time where a trade can't be explained, and pretty much figuring out myself now. That one I was a bit on the fence with. I wasn't convinced by the fact that it was congested because I don't think it was. A lot of the times we'll do that and we'll go sideways, which opens up the trend channel, and then we'll come down again. We do it all the time. We push up, a little bit of sideways, again push up, a little bit of sideways, push up. So that to me is not, but the fact that it crossed over from the top of that, from there, and then push down, that's for me. It's always nice to push strongly through the EMA and then pull back up and then drop, and that's signaling then we're going lower. That's what Max says. You got fooled. Yeah. I mean, the beauty is these, in my opinion, are valuable lessons, because the next time I see a failure like that I think might start to form, I'll be keeping an eye on, did it come from the top and drop, or did it come from the bottom, push up and then drop? So I don't mind. The only way you're going to get to be a better trader is by losing trades and making mistakes. It's the only way you'll learn. So I don't mind. I was a bit miffed initially because I was 300 up, but when I realised why, then I thought, okay, $300, that's worth a lesson. They just took stops above VWAP. So you think we're coming down, do you? So if they took stops up here, yeah, see, I don't have it on my chart, I believe. Is it on bookmap somewhere, is it? I don't know. Yeah, see, a failure here would be risky, wouldn't it? Because we're above the EMA. So really, to get a decent failure, you've got to push below there, then come back up, and then drop. It's going much lower. Yeah, I'm starting to think you're right. Unfortunately, there's no setup for me there. You may have taken that one. I'm not a fan of these. I don't have much. I've not got much confidence in these because I've made mistakes and lost a lot of these. So I tend to wait for it to start to move first. And now it's pushed. If it can pull back and give us something, then I was hoping it might end up a little bit bullish and maybe trap some longs, thinking that they're going to make a new high. Yeah, 14.13 is about here. Yeah, you'd expect them to get close to this side, wouldn't you? In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. No, it's all right. Yeah, unfortunately, failure's out off the cart. Well, actually, it's not necessarily, because we're still in this at the moment. If it can push up here and then drop, then that may be an option. I've got a feeling it's not going to, though. That's the trouble lately. Markets, when they tend to go, they don't come back and give you an option. They just go, which tells me lots of traders are not waiting for it to come back before they're jumping in. Strong areas at 404, which is just below here and lower. So, okay. I was hoping that would come level because that is a second entry long and that may trap some. If you're thinking, you know, we've had a break, 2 legs down, bullish bar. If that finishes a bit more bullish, it may get some longs trapped there. If we push up there and then drop, then I'm interested. At least then if it comes down, it'll be around about this 13 level. But it's not going to, is it? Come on, get up. See, if you look at these channels, they are going almost from the top to the bottom, with the exception of break there. Same again. So, you know, you do think it would come down, even if it has a small break. It's not a problem. But if we can get a failure here, I'm still interested in taking that. Unfortunately, so many times now it just doesn't give us an option. Good on you, Indy. I'm going to sip some whiskey as well later, mate. What did I buy the other day? I've got another bottle of Aberlour, 12-year-old Speyside whiskey. I opened it night before last. I did my lawns a couple of days ago. But I'll be thinking of you doing yours while I'm sipping my whiskey. Okay, push down, a little bit of sideways, push down, a little bit of sideways. I expect the same. If we can push up here and just push a bit and then drop. Come on, I don't mind this sideways stuff because obviously we're going to get it in these ranges. Otherwise it doesn't, you know, open them up a bit. Come on. Channels rather, sorry. Nah, that's typical Brant, and it just doesn't even get up here. 2 or 3 ticks from giving you an option, and we know pretty much where it's going, don't we? Well, as you sit here and watch this, 10 times out of 10, it'll drop. The one time you think sod it and you jump in here, it'll trigger you, stop you out, and then drop like a stone. Okay, possibility if we can get up a bit. Still working in a nice channel. I like that. Let's go. Oh, it's very tempting to take that, isn't it? Hate it when he says let's go because things usually drop. It's got to get close to that EMA for me to think about getting in. It is a failure, but I much prefer it to get further up. Let's get an order ready just in case it does.
Order
Get a
submitted.
bit higher. Come on. Finish a bit higher. And that'll do. There we go. Come on. I like that. I think it's not as close as I'd like it. See how it finishes. No, no good.
Order cancelled.
I'd prefer to push above here and then drop, and then I'll be all over that like a rush. Oh, that is a failure, but it's just risky, I think, in my opinion. It's tempting, but it's risky. If we can have a little push up here, but it's pushed down, a little bit sideways, push down, a little bit sideways. I expected a push down, but I'd like a push down from a decent looking bar, and I think that will encourage shorts getting in there. I do like these channels that slowly grind this type of channel. No, it's going to go without us, isn't it? Once it gets below these couple of bars, I think. Strong liquidity here. I'm down at 4. It's too far past the EMA now, really, to give us something of interest. I mean, that obviously did work. Well, seems like it's working, but it's just... if that had fell a bit more bearish, I might have taken a risk there. Because it's a nice channel. Let's crack 4,400. I think you might be right, mate. There is a big lump down there. Interesting. Interesting. Let's get an order ready.
Order submitted.
Try to go what? Try to go once. Try to go twice. May take that. I'm going to let this start to move first. It's tempted to take that. I'm just going to let it trigger, see what happens. Maybe ace. Yeah, I got a first entry. It's actually a third entry. Still in it. Yeah, I think you're going to be okay, but it may break above here a little bit. I'm just not a fan of the first entries. A lot of the times it'll come up there, stop you out, and then drop like a bloody stone. Something seems off. Yeah, it's why I left it. If it breaks below here, I think you're golden, because the trouble is we've had this channel up here. Now, we don't use Fibonacci retracement tools, but it looks like it's come down 50% almost. So you just don't know, do you? I much prefer to get a second entry. A lot of the times you get stopped out on your first one, the second one works. See what happens. Who's in it? I hope you don't, but I think you might do. That's the trouble about these first entries. Yeah, it's almost definitely going to stop that out for me. If I was you, and this is just my personal thing, I'd give that an extra tick. That's what I do on scenarios like that. It might work, it might not. Okay, 2 ticks it's gone up. Above that, let's see what happens now. It's coming down a bit.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, I always avoid those first entries, as tempting as they are, and they are tempting. It's a real tempter, that, isn't it? But a lot of times it'll stop you out by a tick or two. And if that comes bearish, it is a second entry short. I just don't like the way it's not coming down bearish enough quick. I'd have preferred that after that ticked above there, that there may be some shorts in here and take that down, but it's not dropping as quick as I would have hoped, which tells me it's not going to turn into a good trade. No, it's not. That's not going to finish bearish in time. Yeah, always avoid those first ones. You might think, well, okay, we've had a push up here. It doesn't really work, really. You've got to wait for it to break out of it and have a couple of pushes in a channel. But experience of just getting stopped out told me they just don't work. Them now and again in a very strong market, it may work, but it's clearly sideways at the moment. So, but now we don't generally use Fibonacci tools, do we? But that's a little bit over that, isn't it? I just wonder whether we had this break and we're going to push up a bit more. Could be a leg with a break, another leg. Who knows? Excuse me a second. Okay, sorry about that. So not what we expected. It bounced off that midline. Got out 44.13. Got a stop while I'm ahead. Yeah. So hard to tell. It could be a leg and another leg. I just don't know. I'm not a fan when it pulls all the way back here. I just wonder whether we've had a break and we're going to push up and maybe move a bit higher. I don't know. But we have had an overshoot there, and usually when you get an overshoot, you get something the backside. So I'm unsure what's going on at the moment. Possible. That's triggered anyway, but I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, I'd say if you took that one, it's likely going to stop you out unless it just makes another attempt to go higher and then comes down. Five minutes long here on Chewy. Yeah, how you got on, bud? You got taken out in that one, didn't you? That one there, yeah. Just be aware of them. Those first, always better when you have a break to have two legs up, one leg up and another leg up. So a second entry, make two attempts to push higher. Now, if that one would have been bearish there, then that wouldn't have been too bad. But yeah, out of experience, I just don't bother with them anymore. Sometimes they work, but most of the time it's just, a lot of people get in there and then they'll just stop them out. But yeah, no worries, mate. You take it easy, bud. Take it easy. That annoying ad. Sorry, mate. You got to pay your $9.99, haven't you? I'm monetized now, mate. I could make millions out of this. Doubtful. It is annoying when you get the same guy. That's why I ended up. The trouble is, it didn't matter what you're watching. There's always ads if you're not paying. If you're not doing the $9.99. I took a short of 44.19 up here. Well, that worked. So even if you, kept that above the break or something. In fact, all the money you earn, you should be able to pay that. Yeah, that was okay. That was. I just have this thing with picking tops. I'm just not a massive fan of picking them. Now, if we're clearly a downtrend, then we go 1, 2, 3, right in the best place. We push up, strongly come down. Then I'll take that one. But it's a funny old. It's one of those range days where I don't know. Sometimes it's hard. Just I don't know. It just doesn't work for me at the moment. I'm just not confident in picking tops and bottoms because I've had bad luck. So. But occasionally I will see one that I believe to be a good trade, and that will intrigue me into getting into it. Just downloading it. Just there you go. Download an ad blocker. Give me the revenue. Come on, I need the $2 a day. If a lot of people moan about it, then I'll bin it. It's not a huge amount of money, is it? $40, $50 a month, something like that. I'm not doing it for the money. If they're going to pay me the money, and before I paid the monthly thing, I had ads anyway. You'll get ads on anything if you don't, but I deemed YouTube as a useful tool in my trading career, so I just paid the $9.99 because if I wasn't getting ads from one person, I'd be getting them from somewhere else anyway. Just get out of here. How bad was that loss? You didn't take that, did you? Did you take that? And you held on. Done that before. Move it up, move it up, move it up, and you get stopped out. And the second that happens, it rockets down. Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. It all helps, doesn't it? If it's all sort of free money, isn't it? But as I just mentioned, if before I was paying the $9.99, I get ads on videos anyway, so it didn't matter if I switched one off and went into another one. You get ads anyway. Okay, so we've had this push down. It's made a couple of attempts to go higher and a little bit of sideways. So we'll see what happens when it gets down to the EMA. It may continue up a bit, but as we are ranging, I'd still expect to break a new low from this, as we're only halfway. I was asking how bad was your fail second. Oh, that one there. It wasn't terrible. Let's have a look. I gave it an extra tick, so 3 points. I think I lost 3.5 points there. Yeah, I did, because that gave me $300, and then I was 50 in the red, so I lost 350 there, but I got a couple of points back. I don't mind that because it looked like it looked like a beauty on the grand scheme of things. In fact, I didn't even drop an order in there. I just hit the sell button, and it looked like a great trade. But as JJ and a few others from Facebook mentioned, it's better to push down, come back up and then drop, but it didn't. It just crossed over from the top of that bar there where that closed to here and then slowly worked down. Now I would say they're a lot less reliable. It doesn't mean it's not going to work. It can still come down, but they're less reliable. So for me that was it. But I don't mind losing those trades because for me that's a good school day. That is. That's telling me that there's something else I need to learn, so I don't mind that. I was asking how bad. Yeah. No, it's not terrible. You had the right idea there, but look what they did. Yeah. I thought the trade, after seeing that trade, I thought, wow, that ain't going to... I mean, we've had this break, so we've had one leg up and another leg up. Big bearish bar, followed by another one, and then this one. Wow, I thought I was prepared to bring my order down here. I thought that was going to, you know what I mean, come down like a rocket. And I was quite shocked when it turned back up, actually, in all honesty, which is why I gave it an extra tick, because sometimes that extra tick can save yourself if you make a mistake. And I thought that was going to just give us flipping 8 points, 6 or 8 points straight down. But I don't mind losing these trades as long as I believed it to be a good trade. And you could see why I did. I mean, most of those, they just work anyway. But, you know, the fact that it crossed over above the EMA, and the only time it closed with the EMA was when that dropped. But yeah, much better to sort of push below and then pull back up. Although that one didn't work, but that was clearly just a first entry anyway. So, but we had this channel and we sort of came back nearly halfway. That one there, second entry long, yeah. Trouble is, in the right context, it wouldn't be that terrible because it's almost like a little bit of congestion and we drop, bounce off the EMA, push up. But the trouble is, because we're going sideways and we've come off these highs, there's no guarantee that it's not going to trigger and then come down. So we could have a leg and a leg. It just makes it's a little bit unsure. But no, it takes, you know, years and years to master these. Whether, you know, it's questionable where you actually ever really master them. You're always learning. But to get to the stage where you're competent, and whenever you're learning something new, you learn by your mistakes. It's how you learn. It's the best way to learn. And some guidance from, you know, I like the fact that, you know, the Facebook group, trading in general, the thing I like about traders is they're not in competition with each other. You know, it's an individual thing. It's not, you know, like one business and another business. He's taking my business. It doesn't work that way with trading. You know, you can have a guy sat right next to you trading. Doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't affect you. So I like the fact that traders help each other. So, you know, you get the more experience helping the less experience and so on. And as a, you know, it worked out though. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I just do. I wouldn't have expected that from that range. But at some point it's got to do something different. Oh, look at that. Interesting. So that liquidity has been sucked up. Okay, 5 minutes and I think I am done actually. Leg and a leg. Okay, big bearish bar there. Am I interested? Not really. I don't like the way it's faded this range and it's only come back to the midline. There's probably a lot of traders that take that and I can see why, but I'm just not a fan. As you know, I'm not a fan of picking highs. Good for you, mate. Good for you. One contract saw you out there. Took that second entry long, that one there. Yeah, I looked at it. It's because we've had this and come back only halfway. I wasn't sure whether we're going to and then come back down. It's hard to say. Ah, 46 trades. How much do you scalp for, bud? Point with a 1 point with a 1 point loss. How many do you scalp a point or a little bit more? Let me know. Okay, I'd say that's probably going to come down to here, but I'm not going to risk it. I didn't expect that to do that after this, see, so that's why. I think 24 trades is the most I've got when I was scalping a point. Or 22 trades, I think. Yeah, if you've had 2 wins, sometimes that third one can sting you. And there's nothing worse than giving back, isn't there? Especially if you've had 2 nice winning trades. 2 points. Good for you, mate. 3 wins today. Good on you. Good on you. I've had 2 wins and a loss. But yeah, I think 2 points is a good starting point, personally. I've had 2 there, 3 there, so that would have given me 5. Unfortunately, that one. It's just a shame that one. It was, you know, it is. Up 300 on 3 accounts. Good on you, mate. Okay, that's quite a big bar there, see, so what is that? 3 points. Stop trading pads. Oh, have you really? Interesting. I suppose people find their own way, really, don't they? Okay, so that would have made you 2 points. Just not something I want to risk. I did tell myself I'm avoiding those for the time being. Interesting. Think it will make it not work. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what anybody does in this market. It doesn't affect anybody else, really, does it? Okay, possible lower high. I'm still not a massive fan. It's gone down, bounced off the EMA, so... Moo trades, I think he lost a load of accounts, and he had 20 accounts, and I think he lost a chunk of them. That's the trouble with having that many accounts. It's bloody heartbreaking if you lose them. Back from the dentist, ouch. I don't mind dentists, actually. My dentist is fit. That's probably why. He was all right, the Moo guy. I chat with him a few times. He came on the stream and I chat with him on his, actually. I thought he was a nice guy, actually. I thought he'd do really well. He seemed really patient. I thought he had way more patience than me at the time. But the trouble is, if you're going for 20 accounts, if you're paying that one-off fee, you're paying $2,800 just for the fees. And then if you're taking 20 evaluations, even at $33, it's, you know, it's still $600. It's costing you nearly $3,000. And if you put $3,000 in and lose it altogether, it's got to be a bit heartbreaking, which is why I tend to... I never ever did more than one until I took a payment. Potential second entry long. You're thinking about going long, are you? It's given us that impression, isn't it? It's given us that impression. And if it does go long, it may stop out here and here. So, but yeah, after we've had this little overshoot, we've only come back halfway, which tells me maybe it's going to have a leg and another leg. It's possible. I mean, the only reason I'll go short here is if we push below the EMA and then come back, but I don't think it's going to work that way. Interesting. Still a bit risky at the moment, in my opinion. I prefer another leg. I prefer it to come down here early, but it has sat on top of there, so I don't know. I'm in two schools of thoughts here. It's clearly been ranging, although we've had this breakout. We've only come back about halfway into the range before we pushed up again. So I'm a little bit on the fence here. We've touched. So this is confirming there is a little bit of a channel, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come back in short, if not going nowhere, but they will make it hard. Yeah. I'm just not doing anything at the moment. I'm just going to have to sit and watch this. Yeah, it would have done. The bit that's made me avoid that is this, the little overshoot. We've come back in halfway, and a lot of the times that can indicate another leg up and maybe some upward movement. So I was a bit nervous about this. I mean, we see it so many times. Market will start off like this, go sideways, and end up the same. And well, you know, it's sort of like a loop, isn't it? Going to crash through 4,400. I hope you're right, mate. If we can get a failure here, then may be interested. There's a second entry long there. If this triggers, people think we're going to go long, then I may be interested in short. It's clearly slow though, isn't it? I hate it when it goes slow. Okay. There's probably some traders looking at that thinking, second entry long, we've had a break, looking for a new high. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing here. Mind you, if it was that easy to predict and read, you'd be making stacks of money at it. That's a big old bar, that. Very big bar. Which is triggered. I don't like it when it does this really slow, up a tick, down a tick. Interesting. Okay, so you could say that's a failure. So if it breaks below here, then I'd say it's likely going to push down, but I just can't take that because it could trigger the short, the failure, and then push up. It's hard to say. Yeah, it's having a hard time getting through. Yeah, it is. Short now, 44.20. Trouble is, if I short that, my stop would have to be one tick above there. And we got a new high after this. If we can push down and give us something further down, then there's going to be probably an awful lot of stops above that bar there. See. There's a lot of liquidity there, so if it breaks above there, then it may drop quickly. There's not a massive amount up into here, so we've had a little channel break. See if we make a new high from this. Trouble is, it is starting to look like it's working up. That's what's concerning me. Sometimes it can seem that though, and what happens, a load of longs get sucked in and then it drops like a tank. There is some at 28, I have noticed. I think we'll know if we break above this. If it does continue up, then that might be a wider channel. But if it breaks this, it may hit that liquidity and then drop. Who knows? I'm just going to wait for this to happen. And then I'm probably going to knock it on the head there. It looks like it's trying to take out them stops because there's one leg, two leg. Ultimately, there's going to be some there, I'd say. There may have been some shorts who took that as well, the lower high. Might just go whack in a minute. That's my technical term. Oh, interesting. 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 See if that short triggers. You could call that a hidden second entry short. I'm just not sure at the moment. Yeah, I did draw something, but I took it away. I drew that. I'm just not sure at the moment. If it does push up to here, then I'll probably put it back, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to come down. It's struggling to get higher. It couldn't make it above there. You got a big bullish bar there. You know, there may have been a lot of trying, you can call that a second entry long, trying to push up, break these highs, but I don't know. I think it's just going to, it's coming down. Yes. you can get a lower high. So I mean, we've had this high. We tried to get higher once, tried a second time, and then we came down. So trouble is, it is starting to look. I'm rooting for him. He probably will. He's quite experienced, isn't he? So it might be getting a little bit sideways here. See, this higher low, if it finishes bullish, may encourage some longs in, and if that finishes nice and it can trigger above up, then we may come down some more then. But it's clearly going sideways, and it's just not for me at the moment. Okay, but I'm not going to knock it on the head. It's just going sideways. It might do that for a while. At least I'm up 150 on 2p accounts, and I've passed another evaluation, and one's $330 away. So hopefully, I trade 4 contracts there. So hopefully tomorrow that will give us past that one as well. Marco drew a larger uptrend, moving from the right, a larger uptrend. You know about from here? Yeah, I did put this, but I got rid of it. He's actually taken that, isn't he? Trouble is, because we're going sideways, I'm a bit unsure about... see, he's marked that. It doesn't necessarily mean he traded it. He took that same trade as me there. Well, he marked it anyway. That one there, and he left that one. Have a look. It looks to me like that trade there, his didn't trigger. Perhaps it did. Let me have a look. Have a closer look. Oh, it did trigger. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's marked that trade there as a second entry long. Someone else mentioned that, but for me, it's a bit congested. Who is it? Someone else mentioned it. I can't remember now. I'm just unsure about what to do here, so I'm going to knock it on the head there, actually. It's not been a bad day. It's been a better day. It's a shame about that one. If I didn't have that one, I'd have been up 5 points on the day, which would have been nice. But, you know, some days you get tough days. You know, some days are a bit easier than others, but it's not been a bad day. I like that trade. That was a nice trade. So was that one. That a bit unfortunate, but there you go. It may have worked, but I get why it didn't. But yeah, it does start to look like just a bigger trend day, really, isn't it? A bigger ranging day, really. Yeah, it's going sideways. It might continue sideways for a bit longer, or it might push up there. I don't know. That's it for me, folks. I'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks for all your comments. We have some nice conversations on here. And it's a nice group, actually. We're all getting to know each other. We've got some more experienced guys in here as well, with Sani and Harjit. So we get some good information from some experienced guys, and they're good enough to come and lend their time to us. And that's appreciated. So have a great evening, all. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, to be fair, which is why I got it now. If we push up there and come back, then it may be, but I'm not a massive fan of it, in all fairness. But the fact that we had this push up and only came down halfway and pushed up some more told me that it may turn into one. But it's touched a couple of times, but I'd prefer it. It may keep going sideways until we get a decent bounce off here and then push up. In fact, I don't think that. You could say that's one leg and another leg, or a higher low. I don't think that's a bad trade, actually. Personally, I'd certainly expect it to get to the top here, but it's sideways and congested, and I'm not sure. Some think it's coming down. I don't know. but I'm quite happy staying out of it. It looks like one leg, two leg, or a small. In fact, it looks like a small micro trend there. We've had that. We've had a break and a new low. We've pushed up and come back and made a higher low, but it is clearly sideways, so you just don't know. It might trigger you, stop you out, and then rock it off. But there we go. So that's it. That's me done for the day. Save chart image. 6:23. So I appreciate all your comments. Yeah, appreciate all your comments. And I'll be back again next minute. So thanks, Lance. Yep, no problem. Yeah, Chris, Osam. Anytime. I appreciate all your comments. So have a great evening. I'm going to sit and have a whiskey in the garden after me tea. Have a good day all. And I'll be back here again, same time tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe and we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.